What happens when you say pumpkin spice latte into a mirror 3 times?
I don't know. Do you turn into Taylor Swift or something?
No.
Oh.
But a white girl shows up in yoga pants and tells you what all of her favorite things are about fall.
Pretty close.
Hungry Squared, bringing you the best food talk anywhere.
Welcome to the Hungry Squared podcast where the brain and belly meet. I'm Sharon from the Wasatch Cooking Guide.
And I'm Winter from theredparty.com. This week, we have a mini episode. And we're talking childhood memories.
About food.
Yeah, let's talk about it.
Yeah, Hungry Squared.
Sharon, how has your week been? It feels like it's been a little while since we've seen each other.
It has been.
Yeah, weird, huh?
Feels like it's been almost 2 weeks.
I
but
know.
I'm sure it's not that long.
What the heck? So what'd you eat this week?
I had pork sandwiches.
Pork sandwiches.
Pulled pork sandwiches.
Okay. I was like, pork chop sandwiches?
No, we, Ike smoked a pork shoulder on the big green egg.
Oh, yeah. Okay. What was the rub? Question mark?
He used his own combination. So I have no idea. He based it on the cookbook Project Smoke.
Oh, I haven't heard of that.
So it's I think it's called Project Smoke.
Okay.
Yeah. So he based his smoking times off of that and the rub off of that. So
how long was it in there?
So we thought that we could get away with 6 to 8 hours.
Mm-hmm.
And by the time we wanted to eat dinner, it was not as done as we wanted it to be.
Okay.
Which
is a little disappointing when you're like, I'm excited.
But we had all the food for the next night's meal.
Okay.
And so we just swapped meals.
Oh, okay.
So when you pull pork, you want it to be a tiny bit more done than what you would normally serve it at, I guess.
Why is that? I don't think I know. I don't think I knew that fact.
I didn't know that either. And that's what Ike was telling me, because it's got to be tender enough to pull when if you were a pork tenderloin, for instance, when a pork tenderloin's done, it's more sliceable, but it's not falling apart.
Oh.
So it's got to be cooked just a few degrees higher than, what you do a pork tenderloin in the oven for. So we had like a 7-pound pork shoulder and it ended up taking 9.5 hours.
Whoa, that is a long time.
Yeah. So the typical pork, we did buy a slightly bigger one than normal. The ones that maybe you'd throw in a crock pot and cook all day and shred it that way. Those are usually about 3, maybe 4 pounds.
Okay.
So ours was a little bit bigger, took a little bit longer, but man, it was good.
Was it?
Mm-hmm.
Was it spicy, smoky? What was the?
Smoky. We did hickory chips in there. We did a lot of hickory. We did some barbecue sauce.
Nice. What type of barbecue
we did
sauce?
Sweet Baby Ray's.
Oh, okay.
So it was a sweet pork, but it did have a spicy crust to it.
Oh.
So it was like a sweet and spicy thing. We're doing tacos tonight with it.
It's the dish that keeps on giving, right?
It is. And the boys kept asking for it.
Really?
Yeah.
See, that's a good one then.
Yeah.
Awesome.
What did you eat this week? Anything new or noteworthy?
Well, we went up to Bear Lake this last weekend. So this is coming out obviously later. We're pre-recording this, everybody, if you haven't figured that out. But it's the end of summer, right? And so we took one last little weekend jaunt up to Bear Lake, Utah. And it's also kind of in Idaho too.
Yeah, it's nestled right on the border there, and it's known as the Caribbean of the Rockies.
Oh, it is?
Did you know that?
No, I totally didn't know that.
Check out the website for Bear Lake.
Oh my gosh.
It's known as the Caribbean of the Rockies.
That cracks me
very
up.
clear water.
It is.
It's super deep.
Yeah, and really, when you come over that crest above, if you're coming from the Logan direction, and not the Wyoming,
Utah.
The northern Utah portion, you come over that crest and you can see Bear Lake above. It is really blue. It's so pretty. So we spent some time up there, and the thing that you're supposed to do, this is the thing, everybody always talks about, going to Bear Lake and you have to get a what, Sharon?
A raspberry shake.
And I will tell you this right now, we usually go to this place called Merlin's. the last few times we've gone up there, we've gone to Merlin's to get a mushroom burger and a raspberry shake. But guess what?
What?
They were closed.
Was it too late?
No, it was closed like it was up for sale, closed.
Oh.
I know.
Closed down.
Yeah. I don't know what the deal was. I was very sad. So if anybody knows what happened to Merlin's, I would love to hear about that. Because all indications show that they're still open, like on Facebook and other places.
Oh,
and
I hate it when that happens.
I know. We drove by. We're like, no. So we ended up going to Le Beau's.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of another.
Also very good.
Yes. And so I got a mushroom burger there. It was very tasty. And I didn't get a raspberry shake. I got a chocolate brownie shake, and it was really good. So that's what I ate, and it was delicious. So if you ever get up, I think there's just a lot of really good little fast food restaurants that serve up
They have
burgers.
a lot of great mom and pop places up there. And Bear Lake is known for all of the raspberries that grow around there.
Yeah. So apparently that's the thing you're supposed to do. I didn't do it this time, but it was still, no, he got a strawberry cheesecake one.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Yeah. I think everybody in our party got something that was not a raspberry shake. It was funny, but it was sure fun. So
nice.
Yeah.
And now for the main course.
Okay, let's get down to our Minisode.
Yes. Because we're, so you guys may know that Lee and I are taking a little Italian vacation.
Did you just call it Italian?
Yeah, because my sister and I would call it Italian things. Yeah.
Do you really?
We do, just as a joke. I don't know why we started doing that. We do call it, yeah, it is Italy. We're going to Italy, everybody.
Not Italy.
Not Italy. Oh, actually, we do call it Italy on occasion too. But we're trying to have a little episode so that you guys have something to entertain your ears for a little bit.
Yeah, Winter's going to tell us when she comes back about the fantastic cheese festival in Italy that she's going to.
We may be even there when you're listening to this episode.
What?
I know, I'm so excited. Anyway, so we decided to talk a little bit about some childhood memories of food. And only because, like, I don't know about you, Sharon, but my Facebook feed has been inundated with all these people posting about their kids going to school, like first day of school.
I know, it makes me want to post like a first day of work picture.
Yeah.
But it'd just be like a Monday.
Yeah.
Like me on Mondays. It's first day of work.
Woo!
For the week.
This is the last day of work. You could do it before and after.
Oh my gosh. I'd look like a zombie and then I'd be like doing a dance.
Yeah. Exactly. So it just kind of got us thinking of like, when as a kid, I don't know, my parents were never that creative, I guess, to like post before like first day of school pictures. I don't know. I'm not totally
I think
sure.
It's this world of social media where every experience is not real unless it's documented with a picture, at least, or a video.
I totally fall into that. Like, I love to take pictures and videos, but that's just because I'm Asian too. It's totally stereotypical, you guys. Sorry. But it's ingrained in me. I'm sorry. I just can't. My dad was that way too. So anyway, so we were going to talk a little bit about childhood memories. And so we decided to quickly, and I'm curious to know what other people answer for these questions. So if you ever want to shoot us an email, we have 3 questions to ask you. So here's the first question that we want to ask each other and you as our listener. So first question, Sharon, what is your favorite food tradition as a family when you were growing up that you can remember?
My favorite food tradition was extended family dinners on Sundays.
Oh, you have mentioned these before.
Yeah. So when I was little, we would eat with our grandparents.
Because everybody lived nearby-ish.
Yes. Everyone lived nearby. But when I was growing up in California as a small child, we had like great aunts around, great uncles, and my grandparents. And so it would be like our little family and all of these old people. And I loved it.
That is awesome.
And
everybody just would pitch in, right?
Yeah, everybody pitched in. You would help cook, or it would be more like a potluck style, one of the two. But it was fun. So we would gather at usually my great aunt's house when I was very young, and I would help cook and make the sweet tea and whatever. And then when I was older as a teenager in Louisiana in the South, then it would be like all of my cousins around and stuff like that.
Because they all lived in there. Yeah, because I remember you saying that your family would...
We all lived in the same neighborhood.
You lived in the same neighborhood, and then you guys would... There was always a house, and that house would like work their tails off.
Yep.
And everybody would come, not really helping or bringing anything.
Yep. But then the next week it would be your house.
Yeah. Yeah. So everybody always kind of got... There would be one week they would work their tails off, and the other weeks they could relax, kind of.
Yeah.
Which is nice.
Yeah.
So you don't have to all sweat it, I guess. Just sweat it once a month or once a few weeks or something. That's fun.
But I loved that. I loved hanging out with family that I didn't get to see that often, not on a daily basis necessarily. And it brought us closer as a family to people that you wouldn't normally be close to.
That is cool.
It's fun. What was your favorite family tradition growing up?
It probably is something, it always has something to do with like getting together anyway. You know this, I know that you know about this, is that when we were kids, like every special occasion, holiday, if it was like Thanksgiving or Christmas or Easter or whatever, we would sit down and make pot stickers.
Yes.
And those are gyoza or jiaozi or whatever you want to call them, pot stickers, right? And so we would sit around the table. My dad would make some meat. He would flavor the meat. And then we would just sit around the table like we were child laborers.
You have the small dexterous fingers.
Yes, exactly. We could work quickly.
And make all those beautiful pleats.
Yes, exactly. So we'd sit around the table, our round table, and we'd fold all the pot stickers and line them up all really pretty. And then when we got closer to when dinner was going to be ready, for whatever reason, like if the turkey was coming out or the ham was, we had to wait for those things to come out. My dad would start frying these up. So you put a little oil into the pan, get that hot. Then you put the pot stickers in so that it can crisp up a little. And then after they've crisped up a little on one side, then you pour in some water and then steam them the rest of the way. Super tasty. But those first few batches people were stealing them. Like,
of course they were.
Yeah. So we were funneling those off easily. And then eventually we would always make way extra so that we could have some for dinner instead of just eating the ones at the very beginning. So that is always a very fond memory for me. Because then the other thing that reminds me of pot stickers is like the thing I associate with pot stickers besides my family is mahjong or mahjong. If you do you know what that? Yeah, that's the Cantonese way to say it, mahjong. So it's a
card game, right?
It's a Chinese tile game. It's not the tile game that you play on the computer where you match.
I loved the matching tile game, but that's not mahjong.
But mahjong is like it's like poker. It's like a Chinese version of poker.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And then so after these dinners, we would clear the table and we would sit around the table and eat any leftover pot stickers and oranges and play mahjong.
Nice.
Yeah, so that's the thing that it reminds me of. I love that. Love it.
Pot stickers reminds me of I think it was the night before you got married.
Yeah. Making a bunch of pot stickers for our wedding.
Was so fun.
It really was. Like we
bunch of girlfriends get together and it was basically winter's bachelorette. And so we made pot stickers.
Yeah, it was super fun. I mean, I've put many people to work making pot stickers. Everyone's like, teach me how to make pot stickers. I was like, okay, let's sit around a table. You will be cheap labor.
Exactly.
It was always fun. Okay, next question.
So what was your favorite dinner growing up?
Oh, okay. So my dad was an awesome cook. That's what I'm going to say. So there are many things that I remember that I always looked forward to eating. But there's a few things that, like one thing that stands out, and I know how to make it. It's so easy to make. It's so dumb that I don't make it more often. I know, it's so sad. But anytime he made the steamed fish, it was amazing. So he'd get a whole fish, right? And then he'd prepare it. You put it on a plate. We'd have our wok. We'd fill it up with some water, about an inch or two. You place in a little trivet. What is that called?
A trivet.
Trivet. Thanks. I don't like. There's so many things. I'm like,
a little elevated thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So you put that in there, and you have your fish on top of that. You put your fish on a plate, and then put the plate on there, and then you steam it for I don't even know how long it was. But the thing that was awesome was that my dad prepared a soy sauce, probably sesame oil, and maybe a smidge of vinegar sauce. And then he'd cut up onions, green onions, and ginger and everything. And you just put it on top of this. And it was like the simplest, you let the fish shine.
That
basically.
sounds delicious.
That's it. And it was amazing. It was so simple. It would be perfect on some rice, but I love that dish. And once again, I don't know why I haven't made it really that much, because it's so easy and simple, and it reminds me of my dad.
I bet Lucy would love that. She'd gobble that up.
Yeah, she probably would. And she'd really enjoy seeing the fish, I think. She'd either think it's really super gross, or she'd really totally love it. I don't know.
I'll bet she'd be fascinated.
Yeah.
She's always fascinated by stuff
Yeah.
like that.
Okay, how about you? What's your favorite dinner of your childhood?
Mine is not nearly as exotic or sophisticated. I was a picky eater growing up, and so this was a regular dinner that we had. And if it was my birthday, you better bet we had this.
Oh.
My mom would make hamburgers, but without a bun.
Okay.
So it was fancy. It's like, that's your meat.
Really?
So she'd plate it without the bun.
Okay.
So it's like a steak or something like that, but it's a hamburger.
It's a hamburger.
Yeah. And she
love that.
seasoned it with the salad seasoning, like the McCormick salad seasoning.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
That's actually super tasty.
Is it? Okay.
Try it sometime, everybody.
So the McCormick salad seasoning, like the salad seasoning, like.
It's like sesame seeds and like paprika and some other stuff.
Okay. I'll put a link in the show notes, because I don't think I've ever seen that before.
Yeah. So we'd have bunless hamburger, canned peas, and macaroni and cheese.
No way.
Kraft macaroni and cheese and peas in the hamburger.
That
was my favorite dinner.
That's quite the dinner.
Every birthday I had that growing up, and probably minimum once a week. Sometimes those peas would get subbed out with a salad or corn because I was a picky eater.
Which is so surprising now.
I eat mostly anything now, I think.
Yeah. Isn't that funny how you're like, okay.
Thank goodness.
Thank goodness.
Yeah.
There is hope. Our last question.
What is something you ate growing up that you would not be caught dead eating nowadays?
Oh. Okay, so I loved eating, I ate a ton of stuff when I was growing up, and I would probably still eat it now. But the thing that I'm probably, quote unquote, ashamed to admit that I would still eat it, I think I would probably have to say those little, oh, this is so embarrassing. Those little Totino's pizzas. Like,
oh,
do you know, like,
embarrassing.
They're,
how is that embarrassing?
No, it's not. I don't even think it's the Totino's pizza. It's
the hubcap pizza that's like $1 in the freezer section.
Yep. And
when I was in college, I think it was less than that.
Yeah. And it was like, it has the kind of fakey cheese and the little like tiny cubes of mystery meat.
I ate that as a Valentine's Day dinner one year with my boyfriend.
You did?
In the last decade. I'll just put that out there.
I think so everybody's like, oh, you guys only eat fancy food. I was like, no, I grew up on crap food and, well, really good food too. My dad was a good cook, but we always ate like just weird stuff too. But I remember like, oh, Totino's pizzas, it was the cheapest. And so we could get a few of them. And I loved how crispy that crust got. And I don't know what that crust
it's like a cracker.
Yeah. And so that's one thing that I would not like to admit that I would still eat if I did eat it, but it's true. I do still eat it on occasion, I think. I don't know when the last time I was, but I would be like, oh yeah, give me some of that. How about you?
So when I was in kindergarten, I don't know if I've told this story before or not, but we had a cooking station. So you changed tables every day of the week in kindergarten. So one day you would read, and that was like your main thing that you did that day was you did like your reading group, and then you'd do art and math, and I hated the math table. And I think you'd do like writing or spelling or something, and you did cooking.
Yeah.
And my
cool.
cooking was always on Friday. So I would come home and I'd have a recipe because we usually made something. And I'd be all excited. And my mom, since it was the weekend, she's like, okay,
sure.
you know, like we've got time to go to the store and get all this stuff. And so she indulged me quite a bit with that. And my brother, this particular one, it was fried rice.
Oh, okay.
But he was really upset about it because it was Spam fried rice. And I loved it. I loved it.
If you're going to say that you won't eat Spam fried rice anymore, we can't be friends anymore.
Well, I would eat it, but like I probably wouldn't tell anybody that I ate it.
It's me. It's like me and my Totino's pizzas.
But my brother hated me for that. For like, he still brings it up. Like, you made me eat Spam. But
Spam is good.
I loved it so much because, you know, my favorite thing was Kraft macaroni and cheese and canned peas. So my mom was like, "What? You'll eat fried rice? Okay,
done."
And so she would dress it up and like add all these fancy things to it. But as long as that Spam was in there, I was good to go.
Spam is dang good. I think we should have an episode on Spam.
Oh yeah, easy.
Can we do that?
There's a museum about Spam.
I know. We should have some guests on, such as the Ciatis.
Hey Spencer.
Hey Dwayne. They're from the Philippines, but they kind of were in Hawaii for a little while. I think if you live in Hawaii, then it just makes you love Spam. Because I was born in Hawaii, so I love Spam. It's what we ate.
Yeah.
Just saying. Okay. That was very interesting. I was going to say, if you're not going to admit that you like Spam, I'm going to be very sad.
No.
I love Spam.
I'll admit it.
Okay.
We had lots of cans of Spam in our pantry growing up.
I love it. Next time I see your brother.
Ike won't let me purchase Spam now.
I just want to say though, Spam is expensive.
Oh, is it? I haven't priced it out lately.
Oh my gosh. It's like, I think it was like $5 or $6 a can.
What?
It was dang expensive.
What?
So if you're going to get Spam, I think you got to do it on the case lot sale.
Interesting.
I'm not ashamed of Spam. I'm not ashamed of Spam.
Thanks for joining us today for our show. You can find us at hungrysquared.com, on iTunes, Stitcher, and Google Play Music.
Hey, everybody. Leave us a rating and review on iTunes if you haven't done so. It helps other people discover the podcast. And we would just like to hear what you people have to say about our podcast. It's kind of fun to see that.
Let us know how we're doing.
Yeah. Okay. Join us next week for our next episode of Food Nerdery.
Okay, love you. Bye.
Bye.
Hungry Squared, yeah, Hungry Squared.